Today we're going to take a look at graphing categorical data. So go ahead and open up your notes and let's begin with the section on graphing categorical data. Now, we begin with categorical data by describing a frequency distribution. A frequency distribution for categorical data is basically a table that displays the possible categories along with the associated frequencies, which are counts, and the relative frequencies, which are percentages. So if we were taking, for instance, a look at a class of perhaps 30 students, and let's say 20 of them are girls and 10 of them are boys, then the frequency counts would be 20 girls, and then the frequency or counts for the boys would be 10 boys. And relative frequencies are basically percentages or fractions. So 2/3 of the girls, or 66.67% of the students are girls, and then we would have 1/3 of the students being boys. So the frequencies are counts, relative frequencies are percentages. The frequency for a particular category, once again, is the number of times that the category appears in the data set. So when we refer to frequency, once again, we're referring to a count for a particular number of times a category appears. Now, the relative frequency, once again, for a particular category is the fraction or proportion or percentage of the time that the category appears in the data set. And it's a very simple calculation. To calculate a relative frequency, we basically take a look at the frequency, the count, the number of times an item appears, divided by the total number of observations in the data set. So we're just really converting a frequency or a count into a percentage by taking the frequency over the total number of observations in the data set. When the table includes relative frequency, it is sometimes referred to as a relative frequency distribution. So we have a frequency distribution, which is a distribution by counts, and we could also extend that into a relative frequency distribution, which is going to be a table that basically displays the percentages as well. Now let's take a look at a quick example here. Suppose 500 students were asked the following question. What is your primary source of vision correction? Glasses, contacts, or none? Now, suppose we ask these 500 individuals, and these are the results that we have. Here we see that we have a frequency and a relative frequency column displayed in our table. So we list the vision correction possibilities, and there's 3 categories of vision correction. The first one is wearing glasses, the second one is wearing contacts, and the third is none. They don't use any vision correction at all. And the associated frequencies with each one of those is 102, 80, and 318. And notice if we total the entire frequency column, we're going to get the total number of individuals in our data set. In this case, we're looking at 500 students. So the second column represents the frequencies or counts, and the third column we can convert those to percentages. So 102 out of 500 individuals use glasses as their primary source of vision correction. So about 20.4% of the individuals wear glasses. 16% of the individuals wear contacts, and 63.6% of the individuals do not need any means of vision correction at all. So once again, we're looking at frequencies, counts versus relative frequency percentages. Now, frequency distributions are an excellent way to organize counts of categorical data. Once the data has been organized, there are 2 ways we can graph the categorical data. So when we're talking about categorical data, we always want to perhaps look at a frequency or a relative frequency distribution when we're trying to construct such a graphical display of categorical data. And the 2 methods that we can use to graph categorical data is either using pie charts or we can use bar graphs. These are really the 2 main methods of graphing categorical data, and we're going to go ahead and discuss both of those. So once again, pie charts and bar graphs are ways to graph and display categorical data. Now let's talk about creating a pie chart. Okay, most of us have heard of pie charts. Pie chart is basically a circular graph representing slices of the components within the frequency table itself. So let's take a look at the first step. The first step that we want to do is we want to draw a circle to represent the categorical data set. Now, if we're just doing a loose pie chart just on paper, it's not necessary to get a compass out and draw a precise circle. A lot of times we just like to give ourselves an idea sometimes of drawing this, and without using maybe technology or without using some resources, we begin by drawing a circle to represent the categorical data set.